So Bitcoin crashed and your portfolio's way down, you're panicking, don't sell. Let me tell you something that helped me. Instead of having your Bitcoin, buying your Bitcoin, and thinking of getting out at a certain price target, whether it's $100,000, $288,000, or $1 million, that would be a strategy. But that didn't really work for me, especially if you want to hodl it. Because if you're thinking that Bitcoin is going to go to 288,000, as an investor, you just you don't want any pain. You want to buy it at 62 or whatever it was, and then you want to see it to go to 288, and you're simply just going to get out, and then life is going to be good. Well, it's not going to work like that with this with Bitcoin or even this asset class. So it was at 62, 65. Now it's at 39. Oh my God. And so you're really feeling the pain. When you're really feeling the pain and you had that price target of 288, you might get some fear and you might sell, get some panic hands, some lettuce hands. So what I do, I certainly hodl. I don't get fearful. If it goes down to 5K, yeah, maybe I'm screwed, but I'm not gonna sweat the small stuff. And this 30% correction or whatever it is, this has happened, I don't know, 7 times in Bitcoin. It happens quite frequently. You know, once a year we'll get a big scare like this. It just happens. So what I do, instead of having Bitcoin as a price target, now I certainly have price targets in mind, but that's not how I like to take my my frame of mind. And what I'd rather do and what I like to do is put a date on it. I'm not selling it until 2020 whatever. Actually, I'm not selling until 2030 whatever. And that just makes it easier for me to hodl instead of being constantly obsessed with the price target. Because if I have a price target of 200,000, I'm constantly looking at Bitcoin to see if it gets to that level. And when it goes down, you get that huge pit in your stomach. You feel terrible. You're like, oh no, it's over. Well, it's not over. So an easier way to hodl is to pick a date out in the future. Or what a lot of people do is pick you have your Bitcoin bag and you want to hold it for 2 halvings, or the halvening, or 3 halvenings, or something like that. I'm picking basically, I don't know, retirement. I don't think I'll sell. Are you gonna turn, buddy? I don't think I'll sell until like 2030 something. And what I mean by sell is I'm not gonna purchase something or pay off some type of debt or buy something with Bitcoin until the price is way higher, which for easier for me is just to pick a date out in the future. Or if it's easier for you to think about, pick how many halving cycles do you want for your Bitcoin. And you can do this. You can do this easily. The way to do this easily is dollar cost average. Don't buy on margin. Don't buy on credit, so that when you're over leveraged, you don't have to pay anything back to sell your Bitcoin. Basically, the Bitcoin you have, understand that you never need to sell it. And if you never need to sell it, then when you get these corrections, it doesn't matter. Now, if you bought $100,000 and really you only had money for 70,000 of that, then you're gonna sweat these dips, because what if it goes down to 0? And then you're $30,000 in debt. So that's why you don't buy a margin. That's why you don't buy with credit, or that's why you don't buy with debt. So what you buy Bitcoin with the money that you're able to lose, basically. Pick a date out in the future. Pick a halving cycle out in the future. Or you could align yourself with different what do they call them? Projections of Bitcoin, different estimates of where it's going to be, like a Plan B chart, or there's some guy named Willy Woo, and basically basically they have a prediction model, a model. You could base your Bitcoin buying off of a model, and I do that a little bit. It doesn't really matter because I dollar cost average and basically throw any spare change I have at it. But yeah, get a plan. Don't just ape in, think that the price is going to go somewhere, and then ape out. Don't be an ape. Be a human. All right? Don't take Neanderthal thinking to this space. You're going to have to be somewhat sophisticated. So when you see these huge dips, it's not like this is the only class that has huge dips. Probably the biggest dips I've seen and the most gut-wrenching. But when people say hodl, when people say buy the dip, when people say don't panic, don't fear, when people say, steady hands, the same sentiment has been used in the stock market for decades. So this isn't something new. It's just bigger. It's much bigger. If we had a 30% correction in stocks, which I think has happened once or twice in the past 10 years, the news is just enormous. First of all, it's trillions of dollars, so it should be bigger. But the news is just it's incredible. And when it happens in Bitcoin, well, it happens every year. I think it happens. A 20% correction, I believe, happens every year. It's just what happens. And so it's not that big of a deal. 50% correction, yeah, that's a pretty big deal. But these 20s, these 30s, maybe you'll even get to 40% this time. They just par for the course, and you just need to ride through it. That's what hodling means. Hold on for dear life. So you hodl it, which actually hodl became a word because someone misspelled hold, I think back in the day on a Reddit post or something like that. People enjoyed it, and they made an acronym out of it. Hold on for dear life. So don't let these corrections make you panic sell. That's the last thing you want to do. Hold on to it. If Bitcoin stays at this level, I'll be surprised if Bitcoin stays at this level for the next month. Don't make decisions on weekly basis. Expand your horizon. Don't make decisions on a monthly basis. Make decisions on a yearly basis, or halving basis, or bull market, bear market basis. Almost everyone is saying we're still in a bull market. I'm not that gifted in technical analysis or on-chain metrics to understand all that. Whether we're in a bull or a bear. But like I said in my past video, find someone that you trust and see what they're talking about. Most people I trust, no one's talking about a bear market. Everyone's talking still like a bull market. Let's take it from another vantage point. What's happening with the US dollar right now? Are they climbing up? Are they restricting the flow of it? Hell no! That's not happening right now. We had a correction in Bitcoin because some guy tweeted that he hated it, and now we're back to the levels before this guy, sabotaged it or psyoped it, but he can't psyop the whole thing. You got your private keys. No one can destroy it. No one man can destroy it. It'll come back. Oh no, I was going to say something about. So make sure that you don't think of it as at a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Expand your time horizons. We're back to the point we were before that one man sabotaged the ecosystem, and we'll be back. It's not that huge of it's not that big of a deal. Bitcoin is still going to be able to do what it needs to do. The protocol didn't change. It's only getting stronger. Bitcoin is money that can improve itself. What? Bitcoin is money that can improve itself. What? Bitcoin is money that can improve itself. Does any other money improve itself? Does gold improve itself? Nope. Does the dollar improve itself? The dollar itself per se does not. Financial services around the dollar have improved, but the dollar has only lost value, so really it hasn't improved itself. Financial legacy systems have, credit cards, banking systems, credit and lending systems. But the dollar itself has only weakened, and it hasn't really improved itself. Maybe compared to other fiat money it has. So gold hasn't improved itself. Fiat only loses value, doesn't really improve itself. But what about Bitcoin? Does Bitcoin improve itself? Yes. Yes, it does. How does Bitcoin improve itself? By second layer effects, different protocol improvements. This Taproot thing, I'm not even going to get into Taproot. All I know is that it makes transactions a little bit cheaper. Does it make transactions cheaper for the regular schmuck like me? I don't even know, but I did read an article that said somewhere, depending on like maybe what wallet you have, transactions will actually come down a little bit, so you can avoid those ridiculous $70 transactions. Maybe I should talk about that a little bit. So Bitcoin is money that improves itself. That's amazing. Not only does it improve itself on the protocol level, but it improves itself because businesses, exchanges, different companies are building an ecosystem that can handle Bitcoin in a much stronger way for the customer. What do I mean by that? All right. The technology in Bitcoin wallets is also improving. Now, that's not directly related to the protocol. Well, maybe a little bit. But what do I mean by that? All right, I use the Exodus wallet here and there for purchasing Bitcoin, for hodling Bitcoin, has a private keys, sending Bitcoin when I need to. And when you send Bitcoin, along with some other cryptocurrencies, the Exodus wallet has integrated a fee slider. A fee slider? A fee slider. So a lot of wallets never had this thing called a fee slider, meaning when you sent Bitcoin, you paid the fee, there was no option to change it, and it sent the fee at, something where you wanted to see it in the next maybe hour to 3 hours. All right, and that cost you so many Satoshis per byte. What the hell does that mean? It just means the more Satoshis per byte you want to send it at, the faster it's going to go, the more expensive it's going to be. The less Satoshis per byte, the slower it's going to go, but the less money you send. When I send Bitcoin, I'm not paying for something. I'm just sending it from wallet to wallet. So the speed for that specific transaction, I don't really care about. I just did this the other day. I don't really care if it takes. I don't want it to take a week because I would be like very nervous. I don't even want it to take like 2 days because I'd be like, oh my God, it's in the ethos. Where did it go? But I don't mind if it takes 3, 6, 9 hours. So something like Exodus where you have a fee slider, I just drag it down. So I noticed it was something like $90 to send a bunch of Bitcoin the other day that I had on my Exodus wallet, and I was going to send it to a different wallet for a purpose. And it was like $80. I was like, you know what? This is a big chunk of Bitcoin, but it's not spend for anything. If this comes next week, it's not really going to affect me that much. So I just slid down the fee scale to something like less than half. And I think the fee was like maybe $38 or something like that to send a bunch of Bitcoin. So yeah, it still hurts a little bit when you get hit with those fees. But, my point is, Bitcoin, it's coming like customizable. There's different technology surrounding it. It's money that can improve itself. It is improving itself all the time. Are there limits to it? Yeah, there's some limits to it on-chain, but it's really almost unlimited off-chain. Eventually, and I'm not even playing, eventually all the fancy technology is going to be shoved into the background. You're not even going to know it exists. You're not even really going to understand that you're doing something called like a lightning transaction or a liquid transaction. Eventually, it's going to get so good that you're going to be able to send Bitcoin maybe between wallets or between exchanges or for certain custodial wallets for different purposes. There's a possibility where Bitcoin programming becomes so good, because remember, it's money that can improve itself, that you are actually going to be able to send it for free or virtually free, maybe a couple Satoshis here and there. How are they going to do that? Because I keep on talking about second layer solutions, second layer effects. When exchanges and wallets integrate everything they can integrate with different second layer protocols of Lightning, Liquid, there's a couple others out there. Well, you're not, as the user, you're not even going to understand what you're doing, but you're going to know that, oh, I need to send 100,000 Satoshis. Oh, it only cost me 5. Oh, I feel much better about sending Bitcoin, receiving Bitcoin. So all these solutions, as long as the programmers can deliver, and let's be honest, software only gets better. Your iPhone only gets better. The software in your car only gets better. This stuff only gets better. Why would it be any different for Bitcoin? So, I mean, tons of talent and just awesomeness is with these Bitcoin developers and the people that develop the technology for wallets and things like that. It's only going to get better. So yes, I really do see a world where Bitcoin, while may not be on main chain, but Bitcoin is going to be able to do all sorts of things. Low transactions, privacy, fungibility. What do I mean by fungibility? If you know what an open dime is, that's like fungibility. Meaning like, open dime is a physical Bitcoin holding. So it's a little USB stick where you could have 0.1 Bitcoin or something like that. Or let's say 100,000 Satoshis, which is very small right now. Instead of like sending it from me to you, it's more like cash. It's like more like hard cash, like I hand this to someone. So maybe that doesn't have like a huge use case, but I could see it having some type of use case. What I'm saying is Bitcoin improves itself. Are you going to bet against the money that improves itself? Are you going to bet on a cyborg that knows how to improve itself? Are you going to bet on a robot that is constantly learning, constantly getting stronger, doesn't care what happens in the outside world, only cares about improving itself, doesn't care about, Bitcoin doesn't care what governments have to say about it. It doesn't care. It's a computer protocol that doesn't even know what a government is. It doesn't even know what the downside of human emotions are. It's a internet protocol. So Bitcoin is only going to improve itself. I started this video off talking about having diamond hands, and now I'm talking about cyborgs. Well, Bitcoin is a goddamn cyborg. It's not going to go away. It doesn't give a shit about what someone tweeted about it. It's here to stay. It's going to get stronger. Don't worry. Don't sell. You'll be happy. Widen your time horizon, not to days, weeks, to months. Widen it to years, or halving cycles, or even decades, and you'll be happy about that. Peace out.